Hello guys, last time we had created this web page. So now we are to design the backend. But we have to complete a few things in the front end first. So before that, I have created the functions that will handle our form data. So it will be called on change. Each time of input field has changed, and it will call the function handle data, right? And also have the handle submit, which will submit the form data here when I click on the submit button. Okay. Uh, So here we need the states. So we need the Indian states, and after that we will need all of the Indian districts. So I have a file for states. This has a list of all the Indian states. I have fetched this from the API that was created by Kogan, and also I have a district.js file. This has the list of all the districts in India. So we're going to need these two files, and let me just import this first. Import states and also import district data, and let me also import some React hooks. We are going to use state and use effect. Yeah, there you go. I'll have to remove this. We don't need React DOM for now because we don't have many components in this. Yeah, let's go. Okay, I think there's a syntax error. Okay, yeah, that should do it. Okay, so we have our states data here. Let's just console log the states here in our main app function. So if I just console log here, you can see that I have the all my states here. So let's I think we'll have to map this. We're going to use the map function over here, and we're going to do states. So there's a states object inside of states variable. So we are using to just do states.states.map value, and we're going to return this option tag, and the value will be value dot, or let me just see, it will be state underscore name. So value dot state underscore name, and also we'll keep the text as value dot state underscore name. Okay. Let me save this. So here you can see that we have got all our states data here. Now if we just add a district, if you just see how my district looks, if I just I'll have to create a const for this because the district has to change each time a state changes, right? So our district depends on the state that we have selected. So I'm going to define this as a list, and if you just check the file, you can see that each state has its own list. So if I go on Andaman, it will have its own list. So I'm going to call a use. I think. Okay, so before we move on to the district part, let's just create the body. The body will contain all our fields inside it. So inside the handle data, we'll just set body, and here we're going to use the spread operator and the previous callback function. So inside the use state, you can use previous as a callback, and you can just spread the previous components of the body and just append the key values that you want to update. So here it will be e.target.name, so it is stored in a target, and we will just assign the value of e.target.value. So this will replace each of our name tags with the value. I think, yeah, this is the right syntax. So now if I just see, if I'll just console.log body here, You can see how this works. So each time I'll enter a data, you will see that my object will be updated. So if I write HDSC, it will update. If I write something in the pin, it will update. But I think there is some kind of error here. Uh, Alright, this needs to be in a curly bracket. Okay, yeah. So now you can see that when I select the state will change. Okay, yeah. So that is the crux of it. Now what we need to do is we need to create a function for a district. So we are going to use a use effect for that. So the use effect is going to watch my state variable. Sorry, it will watch my body.state variable, and every time my body.state is updated, this function will be called. So I'll just update my uh, dist state here. So let me just write the code here. So we will go something like if condition, if body.state, if we have something in the state, then only this will execute. We will set dist as, so this will be the list inside my dist district data. So this will be states, so it will be district data, and body.states. Yeah. So this will assign me all my district data. If I just go ahead and check this, there you go. If I go Chandigarh, okay, maybe I need to wait. Okay, something's not. This console log and check is showing undefined. Okay, let's see. The problem is, I think there's surely some kind of syntax error. Okay, yeah, this is state. Okay, let's just see now. Yes, now it's returning. And I'll have to map it first. Let's just map the district data. We'll just do this.map, and we'll write the same thing that we wrote above. But here we will, instead of a state name, we'll use district name. And similarly here also we'll use district name. There you go. We have our districts here. So we have successfully imported this. And I think this concludes our front end. Now we can move to the backend part. So for the backend part, what we have to do first is we have to create a folder for the backend. So let me just create a folder. We'll name it as backend, and just we'll just change directory to the folder. And we're going to type npm in it. It will load our package.json file. Let's just name it COVID app backend. Okay. Skip this. Yes. Okay. Now, if you see, here is our package.json. So we can just start building our app. We'll just do an npm install ExpressJS, and let's install some other packages. We'll install Morgan, Course, Body Parser, Mongoose, and HTTP apps. I'll just explain a bit what they all do. So we are going to make a file, index.js file. So let's just import everything. I will import Express, Morgan, course, HTTP errors, and body parser. So here we're using Mongoose to connect to our MongoDB. We are going to use a helper script for this because it will become very code heavy, this file. So let's just create a script. So this file will call that script. So it will be named init_mongo.js, and I'm just going to copy paste this because it's very self-explanatory, but you do have to use the headers of use new URL parser, use find and modify. Okay, so this will connect to the MongoDB database. Let me just start building my app. We'll just do app.use to call all those packages. So here we're using Morgan Dev. Morgan Dev is to uh, debug all your ExpressJS console outputs. So it will keep on showing the outputs as your ExpressJS is running. Cores is something that is for cross origin resource sharing. So it will be required if you want this application to be compatible with a few kind of browsers. So you're going to need cores, and you're going to need body parser to be able to extract the body from a HTTP request. If you don't have the body parser, you won't be able to extract the body from a request. So we are going to use a body parser.json, and you are encoded extended true. So this will enable us to parse the body. So let me just create my first API. So I'll just create a app.get, and I will just create the route as /API/get, and the function will be will have a request, will have a response, and a next. So we'll just have res.send first API. Okay, and what we need to do is let's just make this as async function, and we'll also create another API. So this will be there to handle if there is if the API does not exist. So it will just create an HTTP error or like 404 not found error, right? Okay, so I think there was syntax error. So and now suppose there is an error that occurs, we're going to catch this inside of this function. So this will catch all our errors, and it will just display the error. It will set the status as 500 as server error, and it will send the exact error. It will convert it to string, and we will display it. Okay, so now let's just start the app with app.listen. I'm going to use the port as 5000 and use console.log server running 5000. Okay, that does look good. Now let's just run this. Okay, you found. Okay, I have imported a module which I will discuss later. Just start this. Yeah. So you can see that my MongoDB is connected and my server is running. So if I just run my API first time, okay, I'm actually using a post. Let's use a get instead. Yeah, so here it is. I don't need the body here. Right, here is the first API that we have called, and it's working. So let's just create an API to write a document to MongoDB. So that is the main challenge that we have to do. So we're just going to create a model first. Let's just rename the model as user.js. So here we'll just import mongoose first, and we're going to create a new user schema with mongoose schema, and inside of mongoose schema I'm going to copy paste the schema that I have created. So we have an email, a state, a district, a pin, a vaccine, and history. And email is string, and vaccine pin and is free. Vaccine pin are numbers. So let me just go ahead and export my schema. So we'll just go const user is equal to mongoose.model user. So it will store my data into a model named users. Let's just name it new users, and it will use the user schema. So I can just module export this user, and I can import it any file that I want. I want to use this in index.js. There is a spelling error. Okay, I think there is still an error. Yeah. Okay, so it is connected. So I have successfully imported my new user model. So we're just going to post the request. So I'm going to have to create a body first. So my body will be sent in my request, and we're just going to do const user is equal to new user body. It will create a new model of that type, and it will try. We will create a try catch block, and inside the try we will do the user.save. It is a mongoose function, and this will have a callback function where we can catch the error, and if there is no error we can just display that the response was successful. So here we will just do this. If there is no error, we will just res.send successful, otherwise we will res.send error. Okay. And let's just complete my catch block. Here we will catch the error and we will send it to the next function. So it will be caught in our function that we have written app.js. It is beneath this, which is catching all our errors. So this will be caught in that part. So I think we just have to try saving. I'll just open MongoDB Compass first. Okay, so this is our database. Actually, we'll have to create a new users database. There's no need to create, it will create it by itself as well, but I'm just doing it just in case. This is the old database that I was using. So let me just go ahead and make a body. So I just write email, state, district, pin, and is free. So is free something that some vaccines are free, some vaccine slots are free, and some are not. So we'll be able to do it like that. There seems to be an unexpected number. Okay, not found. Okay, it's a get request. Okay, successful. So it says successful. So if we go our MongoDB, let me just refresh it. Here we go. There is our data. You can see it. Okay, so this works. So we just need to call this from our front end now. So we're going to use Axios for this, but first let me just complete the yeah. So here we go. We will inside a submit function we will call our Axios.post with our URL link, and we will send body as our parameters. And if we just console.log res, it will show if the request was successful or if any error occurred. So here we go. So I'll have to install Axios first. Okay, and there's something. Okay, let me just npm install Axios. So there you go, and let's import Axios as well. And yeah, the app seems to be running now. So if I just write my data here, and I just submit console. You can see that okay, it's not been submitted. Let's try email vaccine. So if I just submit, okay, I submitting check. So I am getting a post request, but it is somehow not saving. Okay, yeah, I have to put the entire URL. So let's just it has to be localhost 5000. Let's just try again. So there you go. There you go. So it is saving now. So I just had to write the complete URL inside my app.js file. So I'm now able to get the API and I'm able to save this. So this is the entire URL that I had to write. So there you go. So our app, our basic app structure has been completed. So let me just write a condition here when the response is successful. So we're just going to window dot location dot reload to be true. It will reload the app, so that we can see that it's not required, but I've just put this here so that the app reloads when I'm able to complete the request. So it did reload and my data has been saved as well. So there you go. The app has been completed, and see you in the next one.